Never
Yeah,
mind.
man. Hey, man, it be like that sometimes.
Oh man, don't be like nothing, man. You know what? You want to start off like that? You want to start off like that, Smitty? If that is that the vibe and energy? I got something for your ass right there, man.
Hey,
Get your
Oh,
yes, sir. Welcome everybody to the 95 North Sports Machine. What's going on, everybody out there? It's been a minute. It's been a while, but glad to be back. Joined by my co-host Antoine Smitty Smith, as you already know, and our newest member, Chris Tip Moore from A1 Forever Sports, man. Glad to have you on, man. Rocking with us on Tuesdays and post games after on Sunday, excuse me. We're
hey,
really
we ain't at the
excited to
game
have you
prediction
on,
yet.
man.
Go on and change that. We ain't at the game
Oh, yeah,
prediction.
got to change that. Look at that. See, got to knock off the goddamn Russ. Goddamn, dog.
mm-hmm.
Got to knock it
But,
Hey
off.
man, shooter's gonna. Hey man, shooter's gonna shoot.
yeah, hey, you know it, and from the hip. But, man, like always, man, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, man. We got some things to talk about, man. Yes, it's Tuesday. Game breakdown of the up-and-coming matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, but today is kind of a gloom and doom day for our Atlanta Falcons as the trade deadline came and went, and the Falcons, to some surprise, to no surprise, nothing was had, but we hope to give you the best answers possible to ease and appease the mind, as some would say. But like Smitty always says, man, let me treat y'all to the best intro around, and we'll see y'all back in about 20 seconds. I forgot how long that damn intro was, but here it goes.
Somewhere.
There will be an updated one really soon with Chris's mug on there, so look out for that, folks. But yes, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock prime time, like Smitty always says, man. Give a quick roll call to everybody that's in the chat. Again, before everything, man, we always appreciate you guys tuning in and rocking out with us, man. We appreciate all the subscriptions, all the notifications, because when we're on, you guys are on too, man. We want to make you guys feel like you're a part of the stream as well. So without further ado, Triz Daddy, what it do, brother? Mama Carmen Torres is in the building. Mother, I love you.
Shout out to mom.
777 WCG, man. What it do? Tremaine Alston. William Amy. The very opinionated William Amy, man. I love that kid, man, because he says it with his chest, brother. And we love that. We love that.
I tell you that. You better have my
Our brother RJ ATL for life. The plug is in the building, man. Retro G, WCG. D Lawton, what's good, man? Mini 95 North. What's going on, baby boy?
Nephew, what's
Kevin
up?
McDougal, man. Let's see. Play stats. Our brother D, Dwayne Ruffin's in the building. Our brother C Double, what's going on? The wrestling god is in the building. Tay Rush, Oblivion Empire. Raymond Collins. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight.
I hope he brought the donuts.
And also joining A Copeland, man. So, fellas, man, trade deadline 4 o'clock. Everybody was probably refreshing their screens every few minutes to see if the Falcons would break any goddamn news, into no avail. Trade deadline came and went, and it saw our Falcons, stay stagnant and really make no moves. But around the NFL, a lot of teams were very, very, very active. And, shout out to those teams that were active, Chicago Bears being one. Of course, San Francisco 49ers being another team. But your thoughts right quick on the moves, man. Smitty, so the much anticipated Montez Sweat to the Atlanta Falcons on the rumored third round pick, or conditional third round pick. Somebody else swooned in with a sweeter deal, and his services are now up north in Chicago. What are your thoughts on Montez Sweat to the Chicago Bears?
Hey, man, I absolutely love that move, man. And one thing I was thinking about, and I was mad at first, but, after you go and look at details of what happened, let's be real, man. Chicago's second round pick is going to be like a first, because they're going to probably be picked 1 and 2 in the draft. And as I look at it, we couldn't outbid that unless we go with a first round. Now, myself personally, I probably would have went for a first round pick. I would have probably dealt it, because it's just me. And I know we need a pass rusher, but they're building for the future. And I get it, because if they play him the rest of this year They got a slew of money to pay him anything that they want, anything that he wants, rather. So in that aspect, looking at it that way, I just think it was just, getting outbid. But on the other hand, I'll let you get to the other guy in a second. But on the other hand, with the other guy named Chase Young, third, well, they say a mid-round pick, so it could be a third or fourth. So as I look at it, that right there, I kind of shook my head on that one because, as I told you through text message, how many Falcons on hand in the second round that we drafted in the last 20 years that have actually panned out? Think about it. I think it's about 3 to 4 players out of about 10 to 15. So that's not a good number. So I would have traded that second round pick because as I think about it, and as I've said before, if y'all been following me all day, I just think in the long run, that second round pick wouldn't hurt us because one, we're getting a second round pick from Jacksonville possibly. So that's one pick. And two, I just don't think it would have hurt us in the long run because as I look at it, I wouldn't put any pass rusher in next year's draft or the year after that in front of Montez Sweat or Chase Young because they're just superior talents. Let's just keep it real. So that's how I feel about those two guys, man.
Yeah, and that's very valid points, like you mentioned earlier, man. Chicago, they kind of just run the table as far as the salary cap situation is going, man. They have the cap now. They're gonna have more cap next year, so they're just being aggressive and building for their future, not necessarily what Atlanta, not necessarily what they want to do right now. Terry Fontenot, when he took over this team, everybody knows it's been well documented. We were in cap hell. So, Smitty's trying to just build, Smitty.
Hey, it was me. It was me, boy. Hey.
TF is trying to, he's trying to build a sustainable franchise, man. And that's what a lot of folks, that's where they frown upon. You're like, oh, no, man, we need to make this. We need to do this. We need to smash play. Man, I get it. I understand it. But let this sit with y'all for 1 second. We did not have an elite pass rusher for 8 weeks, going on 9 weeks, and we still host a top 10 defense. The scheme obviously works with the guys that we have in place. Could we stand to add a few more pieces? Sure, absolutely. We all know that this defense, the depth is vet driven, and unfortunately, one of our senior guys was lost for the year in the form of Grady Jarrett, man. So, man, speedy recovery. Shout out to Grady Jarrett, man. Hope your process, goes quickly and healthy, and Falcons Nation will, be here with open arms waiting for you. But yeah, so, I would have loved to see the Falcons make a move or two, just to solidify some of the areas that need help. And safety would have been one, center being another one. But we did see Contavia Street, come from Philadelphia over to Atlanta, a guy that has ties to Ryan Nielsen in his scheme. Played for New Orleans last year, posted 3.5 sacks. So, and a change of scenery too. Who knows? We just don't know.
And what's crazy about it, I actually talked about this the other day on the video. For some reason, I looked at their defensive line because I know they had Nolan Smith. They just drafted Nolan Smith, just drafted Jalen Carter. So they have a lot of depth on their defensive line. Contavia Street came to my mind instantly because I remember him from San Francisco. So I remember him being a depth piece out there. And then last year, like you said, it was a career year for him with 3.5 sacks, and I think he had 29 tackles. So I think it was, a depth move and a good move because, one, he knows the system from Ryan Nielsen with New Orleans last year, and him and David Onyemata would click just like that as soon as he hit the field. So, that's one less person they got to train.
Yeah, man. And excuse me, apologies for our third member, Chris. He's experiencing technical difficulties. So, we hope to have him back on soon. So yeah, Chris, take your time, brother. But yeah, Smitty, moving on, with the rest of the moves. So we saw Montez Sweat go to Chicago. We see Chase Young go to San Francisco, man.
Still.
You talk about a team that, is going for it. God damn it. They are going for it. They reunite Chase Young with former Ohio State Buckeye Nick Bosa, that incredible tandem from 2019 and 2020 now is on full display for the 49er faithful. Man, the rich get richer. That's the sense, as you was alluding to. It's a mid-round pick, and currently that whole Calvin Ridley situation, as it stands, it is a third-round pick to Atlanta right now. If the season was to end today, now that it will turn into a second if he signs a contract extension, which a lot of us. Yeah, I think he will too. I think he's a good piece to Trevor Lawrence and company down in Jacksonville. But yeah, so I can see what why would it be enticing to give up a late round pick for Chase Young. But in the midst of all of this, with all these splash moves going on, there were two moves that were made early in the week that I think had probably an impact on what Atlanta was thinking going into this trade deadline. We saw the Seattle Seahawks acquire Leonard Williams from the New York Giants, an incredibly talented defensive tackle, for a 2 and a 5, and New York paid the rest of the salary. Then we also saw Rashawn Gary make a pretty penny in
26
Green Bay.
million.
26 million, 4 years, 107 million, $26.5 million.
Yep.
Now let's pause right there because that number is significant. We have two contracts coming up next year in the form of AJ Terrell and Jeff Okudah. Did this force Atlanta's hand to just make low key trades? That's why we saw Condavious Street. I know that was had to do more with Grady Jarrett's exit and also with the Van Jefferson trade as well. Did Atlanta already know that they weren't going to be major players in the trade deadline?
Yeah, they knew it. They knew it. Definitely.
Because and just to top it off, that deal comes to light. Now you bring in, let's say, a Sweat or a Chase. You got to pay that man because you're not going to. These guys were not going to be 8-week rentals or 9-week rentals. These guys were going to be a future, intricate part of this defense. So with that said, you got Chase Young or Montez Sweat that would have been on staff. Now you have the tough choice of re-signing Jeff or letting AJ walk or vice versa.
Let me put another twist. Let me put a little twist on that right fast. And I learned this today, just today. Yeah. Now, I would have still made the deal because as I look at it and as I see, and I saw this on Twitter, if they trade for one of those guys, things don't work out with the contract and they lose those guys, they still get a compensatory pick. So they would have still got back, something for losing them. So it wouldn't have been a total loss because if you trade a third round pick and get one back as a compensatory, it probably was a no-brainer. Yeah. So I mean, it was a way to win this deal, but I mean, like you said, they threw their hand in a long time ago. Let's just keep it real. When Condavious Street got signed, that was the sign that is the defensive lineman we're gonna go with. Unfortunately,
so Chris, you're joining us. You had some little technical difficulties and stuff like that. If you want to just catch up right quick and just give us your thoughts on Montez going to the Bears and Chase Young going to San Francisco. The floor is yours, bro.
Well, I mean, San Francisco, they definitely got a dog, of course, being able – I say that because look who they're adding him with. They're adding him with Bosa, and then they still got Armstead, Hargrave. That line is really crazy, man. They definitely they made a big play, and it made sense for them. It made sense for them. That's what, good teams do. They strengthen what they do. They strengthen what they have already. And that's what the 49ers did. I mean, regardless of how we feel or what we should have done, the 49ers did one of the things that we wanted to do. And that's strengthen the defense they have a lot of star names out there. They do. And that defense definitely got stronger as far as them. And as far as Montez, I mean, the Bears are definitely in rebuilding mode, and that's a nice building piece to grab. I just, they're 2-6, but so it's not nothing for this year. It's definitely a future trade that they just did there, and they slid in. They have a higher second round draft pick, most likely probably going to be in the top 40, and that's somewhere that we're just not going to be. So I understand the logistics of it and why they went with the Bears instead of us, but
and the Bears can pay him whatever he wants. We talk about Rashawn Gary, Montez Sweat going to be in the $25 million range. Do you really want to pay that? You want to pay that for a defensive end, even though I know he could probably go into that money. If it's not Aaron Donald type talent, I'm not touching that kind of money for no defensive lineman. I just hate to say it.
Yeah.
Indeed. I agree with that. But of course, we wanted at least somebody, and we got somebody. We got a couple.
Yeah.
We got a couple bodies. Let me just say that we got a couple bodies, and
Yeah.
a guy who was on the Eagles squad, but not getting much playing time in street, so that was pretty easy to make. And also we got a guy. I believe his name is Travis Bell, from the
Travis
Bears
Bell.
practice squad. Going back to that Bears well again. And picking up Mr. Bell off the practice squad. He's from Kennesaw State. He went to Kennesaw State.
Yep, so did.
So he's from here. He returned to Atlanta. He's kind of quick, he's versatile a little bit. So we'll see what Ryan Nielsen can do with him. And of course, with Street, Ryan Nielsen has touched those two together last year in New Orleans. So he had 3.5 sacks. So that was a career high for him. And
but think about it, that's not a bad number compared to what we've been doing the last 2 years.
That's not bad at all. I'm not saying that that's bad at all.
No, I'm just saying for the people that's out there just thinking, they just picked up anybody. One, he knows the system. Two, he got sacks last year. So,
so let's bring up the moves that were made, and I'll put this on the overlay here. So this is the these are the trades, folks. Chase Young goes to San Francisco. Montez Sweat goes to Chicago. Leonard Williams goes to Seattle. And the trade deadline really kicked off with Kevin Byard going to Philly. Ezra Cleveland, a guard out of Minnesota, goes to Jacksonville. Josh Dobbs, a very underrated move right here, goes to Minnesota. Donovan People-Jones, man, been knocking at that door for greatness, man, with Cleveland. Really never got a fair shot. He's going to get one now in Detroit because they're rolling right now. So I know they'll find a way.
I think that's the most underrated move of the day because they just lost Marvin Jones. He just stepped away from football. I think he's going to retire for personal reasons. But I think that Donovan People-Jones move is that's probably the sleeper because I watched him 2 years ago, man. He was going slap off. So that Jared Goff gets another weapon, and y'all see last night what that Detroit offense can do.
Oh my God, they were clicking on all cylinders, man.
Like I told y'all from the jump, Jared Goff just need weapons, and he can execute. He's only thrown in the last 18 games. He's only thrown 6 interceptions. Think about that.
Yep. That's crazy, man. Keeping it going.
Different breed out there for them boys.
Oh yeah.
They'll probably put Peoples-Jones in that slot and open up that field a little bit more. I ain't gonna lie, it's an underrated move right there.
Definitely is, man. We see Rasul Douglas to Buffalo, of course, Condavia Street to Atlanta. Mecole Hardman goes back home to KC. Randy Gregory released by Denver or traded. But actually, he got traded to San Francisco.
Yeah, right? He did for basically nothing.
For nothing. Yep. J.C. Jackson goes back home to New England. Chase Claypool, goes back to Miami or goes to Miami. Van Jefferson to Atlanta. Cam Akers to Minnesota to round out. But those are the trades right there, man. And brings up this quick little segment that we're gonna give to y'all, man. Winners and losers of the trade deadline. And folks in the chat, man, if you guys want to go ahead and chime in. Give us your thought on who you think was a winner and a loser. I think I know where everybody's going to go with the loser. But as far as winners, Smitty, I'll start with you, man. Clear-cut winner in this trade deadline process.
Clear-cut winner? I'm going to say Chicago. And the reason why I say Chicago is they're building for the future. We don't even know what they're going to look like at quarterback next year. But I guarantee you this. This offseason, you're going to see a lot more of those players on the Bears, the ones that they have to pay down the road. You're going to see a lot of them dealt. So they will come up with more picks in 2024 and 2025. So they've set a great blueprint to build that team the way they want to. And it's starting with a guy like a Montez Sweat to go along with an already good defense with Eddie Jackson and what's the other kid name? The cornerback, Jalen Johnson. They decided to keep him. So
he requested a trade, wasn't that right?
Yeah,
he had requested something like that.
But they're going to have well over $100 million next year. So look for them to make a lot more moves. And like I said, with Montez Sweat, they're going to be able to pay him whatever he wants.
Chris, your winner? I think Chris is frozen at the minute, but I'll go ahead and swoop right in. I'm going to pick San Francisco. I think San Francisco is a winner. Sure. They acquired Chase Young, but here's a blueprint to how you can keep a successful defense ongoing. They have depth at a very important position. We all know that the scheme out in San Francisco lives and by that front four, you know, allows their linebackers, you know, Fred Warner and company to stay clean. So now you're talking Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw as a rotational piece. You got Bosa and you got this Chase Young that you just have and whoever is behind them. So Frisco is building a bully out there. And who knows, you know, Atlanta might have a shot at Chase Young in the offseason. We don't know what, you know, what that's going to
we don't know
like.
what they're going to do. Yeah, that's a great
We don't
point.
know. Yeah, we don't know what they're going to do. They might just be renting him, you know, trying to buy their way into a Super Bowl. The Rams have done it before, you know, in the year that they said F them picks, and F them picks resulted them into the big dance and winning championship.
I looked at this also, and I thought about this. Since they are strengthening the depth on their defense line, just like the Eagles, I feel like the Falcons could have picked one of their backup players, their depth pieces away from them.
Javon Kinlaw could have been there for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thought about that. So, I mean, but hey, man, I get it. Like I said, they know they got to
actually storming by me a little bit.
No, bro. You good.
I know they got to pay out, you know, those contracts with AJ and Jeff, so I get it. And they don't want to get back in that spot they were in 2 years ago with $80 million in salary cap hell. So
please,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So your winner there, Chris.
Winner, okay. I'm gonna go with someone that, a team that, you know, is not as obvious. I'm gonna go with Seattle. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, that was a great move. Yeah, that was a great move.
Leonard Williams, man. Leonard Williams. And then the great thing about that is they're not even paying his contract. The Giants will absorb all $9.3 million of the contract for the remaining of the year. And it's also good for Williams because he has a chance to cash in again in free agency, possibly as well. You add him to that defense, and it's significant because they also picked up Frank Clark, and they also have a few other names on there as well, man. So
Darren Taylor,
man.
Taylor, Nusu and everything.
Oh, he actually out for the season. He got hurt.
Oh, he got hurt. I missed that. Yeah, he is out for the season. That's why they went and picked up Frank Clark. So Frank Clark with they got Jones. What is Draymond Jones, I believe, and Reed. So they have a few guys over there.
And they paid big money for Draymond Jones the past offseason from Denver.
Right. So they got I believe it's a good move for Seattle. They improved the defense and they are in the hunt for the playoffs. So it's a great move for them.
Yeah. Smitty, you got a quick question right here before we go on to our losers. From Mikey. Mikey, thank you for joining the stream tonight. Thank you for the question. Smitty,
hey, Mikey,
what do you think
Mikey was
trying to do? Huh?
Mikey with 38 hot on Twitter. Mike. I'm gonna just repeat myself, man. I just think it has to do with all the contracts they got to give out down the road. As I'm looking at AJ Terrell, I know they want to keep him. Jeff Okudah, if he continues to play well, he may not garner a lot of money, but it's going to be a significant piece. So they're just trying to make sure they have enough money to sign these guys. But I'm finna disappoint some people with this. And me and Uncle Steve talked about this. Me and Uncle Steve, Berto, we talked about this offline earlier. We could possibly see the last of Grady Jarrett in Atlanta because one is age, and two, if they get rid of that contract, they're only going to owe $8 million. So they may just take that loss. And like I said, I don't get attached to players. I understand it. I know his dad played his whole career, but sometimes, man, business decisions can be tough, and Grady understands that. Because if you think about when he got mad, said when he was in that press conference last year, he was mad about the same thing going on. He said it out of his mouth. They finally got him some help, but guess what? They had to spend money to get him help. Now that Calais Campbell number will come off the books. That's true. But you just got to think about the future and what the future holds. So if it's a business decision and they let him go, just do not be surprised. I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but just don't be surprised if it happens.
If it happens, right. Just a what if that for down the line.
Right.
Question here, man. We got a question here from our brother Uncle Steve in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Folks, if you get a chance, man, if you don't know who Uncle Steve is, please get yourself acquainted, man. This is everybody's favorite uncle, host of the Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Great content as always. The Monday Minutia, the Friday Brunch. He's got some shows. He's got topics. He's got the gift of gab. Excellent show. So please show Uncle Steve some love with a subscription, man.
And I got to say,
definitely you won't regret it. What you got, Smitty?
Happy anniversary to Uncle Steve and the missus.
Oh,
happy anniversary to y'all, man. So
Absolutely.
shout out to Uncle Steve and Miss Johnson.
That's growing wonderful, man. Wonderful.
Absolutely. But he asked to us, to the panel here. So he says, "What's up, my guys? Any thoughts on making it rain at Ndamukong Suh's house to fill up that defensive tackle spot on a half-year rental? Thoughts?"
I'm gonna tell you, he gonna want more than strip club money. He still gonna want a good little piece of change because I think he made like $8 million for 8 games last year. So he's gonna want more money, even though he's 37 years old. Yeah. So you're not getting away with nothing less than $5 to $6 million, and I think the Falcons only have about 8 or 9 left. Mm-hmm. So as I look at it, man, I would say no to that because half-year runner I would love it, but money-wise, it might strap the team.
Yeah, exactly. Smitty, we talked about this, man. It would lead the minimum would definitely be about 6 right about now, just because half of the season is gone. So it'd be definitely about 6 about now. And I don't want to give 6 to Ndamukong Suh for just to be a half-year rental. Yeah. If we was going to get a half-year rental, we could have made a stronger push for, I don't know, guys that got traded today. So it's no. Yeah, man. So
and at that, what motivation does he have? Does he view the Falcons as a serious contender? It's all on him. He has the years put in that he can make choices on where he wants to go and continue his playing career. So I mean,
if we were like 6-2 or 7-1, maybe that'd be a different conversation.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And he would possibly come down on the price.
Possibly just because we would be definitely at one of the top teams in the division. The whole division and the conference.
Yep. We have a Joe Namath style and like guarantee from our brother Chase at Dirty Fanatics United. Him and his brother Philip do tremendous work, man. It's another great Falcon tandem for content creators, man. So another piece to this growing Falcon community. So please, man, show the boys some love with a sub and a share and a like and a quick comment on one of their videos, which they have a lot of, and show them some support. He says, "Good afternoon, my brothers. Much love. These dirty birds are gonna get it together, guaranteed."
Guaranteed.
So, let's talk a little bit about that. Guaranteed. Do you see the Falcons still continuing success? I know losing Grady Jarrett is not an easy thing to replace. In fact, you cannot replace a guy that means so much to this Falcons team. Leadership in and out of the clubhouse, on the field, off the field, like mentioned. So how does Atlanta get creative and replacing a Grady Jarrett within this scheme? Now, let me remind the folks again, we're all up in arms about not trading for a pass rusher. Grady hasn't really been doing a lot of the work. I think we can all agree that Omenyata is the one that's been carrying that defensive tackle spot thus far.
Has been.
No slight at Grady. Grady, I love you, man. So don't take this the wrong way, but it's just, okay, can we overcome this to sustain success the rest of the way? Because it's proven that this Ryan Nielsen scheme is working. Again, no elite pass rusher, but still host a top 10 defense.
You just answered your own question. The key is Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen is the key. See, that's what I tell people, man. Coaching is everything. If you get a significant injury, you saw it Sunday. Grady Jarrett went down. They did not skip a beat. All they did was move Calais Campbell on the inside, brought in Taquan Graham, and had David Onyemata on the other side. So they still got beef on the line. So either way it goes,
he need to pick up his play.
And see, and this is another reason why I said if Grady gets, this is his last hurrah with the Falcons, don't be surprised because they have the type of coach that can adjust on the fly, and that's a good thing. If you have
this is a great point by Tails by G.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just shouting this out. This is a great point by Tails.
Brady's playing in a new system. David been in this system for years. Exactly. So as I see it, we know Grady Jarrett is probably better in a 4-3 scheme than a 3-4. So it's different, angles you can take as to why he could not return. But at the same time, he's a Falcon and people love him. But business is business. But I think Ryan Nielsen is the key to this team not missing a beat on that defensive line, not Grady Jarrett. Go ahead.
Definitely. I mean, you got 2 hurries from Grady Jarrett with 6 quarterback knockdowns, a sack and a half, 10 pressures, 23 combined tackles, excuse me. And so I believe that Ryan Nielsen has the ability to be able to generate that production so far from the rest of the line, man. You know, maybe you got Timmy Horn come in there and do some things, man.
I hope so. He's known to be a defensive tackle whisperer or a defensive line whisperer. I hope he's not whispering. He's yelling at these boys.
I wish they'd go find Anthony.
Play.
I would love to know what happened with Anthony Rush, because he won a big name, but he fit this scheme to a T. I don't know.
He did.
I guess
not
he
right now, though, Smitty. Not now, though.
I
think under the own DP system, I think he was a perfect fit. He was a perfect fit. In this one here, these defensive tackles are asked to do a little bit more than what they're accustomed to, and you know, and just seeing how bad he fell off. His style of play was falling off as the season progressed. He would have probably never made it in this system here because he did get released off of performance issues. So he did. Fast forward it to now, that could have been an issue.
You sure it wasn't buffet issues?
That could have been a part of it.
God damn it.
That could have been.
Oh shit, man. But man, moving on. Losers. Let's go. Let's dive right quick into the losers before we preview the Vikes and Falcons. Chris, I'll start with you, man. So pick a loser for this trade deadline, and you can pick whoever you want.
Loser. I won't say the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not going to do that. But
you got to be right,
the Denver Broncos. I will say the Denver Broncos. Man, they had to get rid of Randy Gregory for nothing. They weren't able to move pretty much anyone else, and they really needed to. So it's just like it was a lot of opportunity they could have did. They didn't move anyone really, and again they had to basically give Gregory away for nothing. So that was just one. It's just one woe after another for Denver, and I'm so glad because Sean Payton, he's out there, and it's no love lost this way with me and Sean Payton and everything. So I'm gonna say the Denver Broncos, man. They should have been sellers at the deadline, but they kept a lot of bad contracts. They don't have many draft picks. They still have Russell Wilson and Sean Payton to deal with. So. Denver
nobody was going to touch that. That Wilson contract. They were like, "Oh, wait, not for me." Sorry, buddy.
Get nothing done.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest. They might have to eat. They might have to eat that contract because if he's not doing it after this year, you got to eat it up because you start over.
Do what the Falcons did with Julio and Matt Ryan, man. Just go ahead and gobble that damn thing up and start from scratch, man.
But right quick, man.
No doubt.
Right quick, man. I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I feel like Patrick Mahomes need another weapon, man. They did not go out and do anything about getting Patrick Mahomes another weapon. Yeah, you got Sky Moore, you got Rashee Rice, but the only true target that he has is Travis Kelce. They got McCall Hardman back, but he hasn't done anything since being back. So I think they should have went out and got a number one receiver, man. If not, go out and get a better, like a Saquon Barkley at running back. Somebody that can help carry this offense because Patrick Mahomes can't do it by himself. He's Superman when it comes to playing quarterback. He's not an every down back, man. Let's keep it real. He's not an every down back. So them not getting an every down back or a wide number one receiver for Patrick Mahomes, I think they dropped the ball big time.
Oh, we got Mr. Wallace Smith in the chat over here. He's gonna keep your ass right in your drink. God damn it. He says Kansas City is just fine, and damn it, that's coming from Mr. Wallace Smith himself.
Mr. Wallace, go back and look at that. Go back and look at that game last Sunday. Them receivers were dropping balls left and right, man.
Yeah. I got my loser, man, and I'm happy to say this because I'm in the area. I work with a lot of them that are a fan of the New England Patriots. You, my friend, New England Patriots, are a loser. God damn it. You're sitting at 2-6 in the AFC East. You have some tradable pieces that a lot of teams were rumored to be calling on. Some teams were even, trying to gouge interest in trading for McCorkle Jones or Mac Jones. Man, I swear to God, dude, if we had traded for him, I'd be damned if I ever would say the name McCorkle and Jones in the same breath for our Atlanta Falcons. So no, thank you. But some other pieces that they had was Mac Jones was rumored to be a trade available. Kyle Duggar, very underrated safety, and I know safety here for our Falcons. It's not a glaring need, but it is a position that we should be paying attention a little bit more, as Richie Grant's on and off play these past couple seasons, or 3 years to be exact, hasn't been exactly inspirational. He does have,
Berto,
he does have really highs, and then he has real lows too. So Kyle Duggar could have been a potential fit here for our Falcons. Furthermore, we had Devon Gotcho and Christian Barrymore, as well as I think. Oh, Josh Uche was another target that the Falcons could have had, but needless to say, New England Patriots, you are a loser.
That's why that could be another reason why they didn't make a deal, because some of the guys that were up for a trade, maybe they'll be available in the offseason. Big Long coming in starting something, man. Hey, let's go and get to this preview, man, because we know you got the roll.
Yeah, man. Let's get to it, man. Oh boy, Vikings versus Falcons, man.
It ain't gonna take long, because this should be a walkthrough.
It should, but the Titans should have been a goddamn walkthrough, and that proved we got punched in the mouth. We there's no other way to put it, man. We got punched in the mouth. So going into this Vikings game, Kirk Cousins, as we all know, tore his Achilles on Sunday, so he's out for the year. They just recently traded for Josh Dobbs. No disrespect to the young man that's starting the game, something Hall. If you guys know the name,
Jalen Hall from
BYU. From BYU. He's starting the game as it was already announced today by Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings head coach. Something Arthur Smith would never dare to do is that's announce a quarterback. It's got to keep us in that wait and see groove. We got to wait till tomorrow to find out if Heineke's going to start, or if
we already know Heineke's going to start. Because if Desmond Ritter was starting, he would have just came out and said it. Come on, man.
Yeah. That press conference the other night, man.
He's shamed, y'all. He's shamed. Man,
wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be when you didn't get a manufacturer to go out to the position?
I don't hitch my life to Desmond Ritter, and I got to go in there and see.
Yeah, man. It could prove to be that Desmond Ritter is Arthur Smith's anchor, and he's gonna if he sinks, so is Arthur Smith in that breath. But moving on. So the Minnesota Vikings come to town again. No Kirk Cousins, no Justin Jefferson, but we're going up against a very motivated Vikings defense led by Brian Flores, their defensive coordinator, a hot candidate for the Falcons at one point this past offseason. They played great. They played San Francisco hard, really made them look, like pedestrian. San Francisco who. Exactly, man.
Made them look pedestrian.
Yeah, Danielle Hunter played out of his mind, and Danielle Hunter, another player that we were high on, but that performance right there itself sealed the deal on the Vikings not moving on from him. As in fact, they sold a little too high on Danielle Hunter, as the rumor was that it would take a first-round pick to gain his services to, of course, the Falcons.
Yeah, that's too high for a 31-year-old.
Yeah. So, it's a favorable matchup going into the Benz this week. I think we're 3.5-point favorites. I don't really go into those numbers, but it's out there. Let me just throw it out there. So what do you see as the Falcons doing in this game to get back on track, so to say?
First of all, they need to get back to running football. If you had a running back last week, man, and I understand because they fell behind early, so you got to play catch up. But Bijan Robinson ran 6 yards a carry last week, man. You got to implement that run game, and you still got to put the ball in his hand. You drafted him number 8, so you got to use him as such. We don't have time to wait to see what y'all gonna do and what plan y'all gonna put together. Build a team around somebody. I've been saying that all year. Either it's gonna be Kyle Pitts or Bijan Robinson. Make your choice, and then from there you just go from there. And then I just say y'all keep just running football, man, and stick to your bread and butter.
Yeah, Chris.
I feel that, man. It do seem like we do lack a little identity, as far as like with this offense. We do seem like we do, man. Every week is just you never know what you're really going to get or who you're not going to get enough of. So now both teams are kind of stingy against the run, just a little bit. I know, 3.6 for the Vikings, 3.8 for the Falcons and everything. Still give over 100 yards. Both teams do give over 100 yards. So, like you just said, man, get back to that run game. We have the better run game. Don't let Matson come down here and Cam Akers come down here like they just a dynamic duo. No, we already have that. And we also have the Joker card as well. Get out there and use them. Just get back to it and use it. Go ahead, set up that play action for whomever the quarterback is. Set up the play action. If it is Heineke, be it.
I keep telling y'all, they implement a wildcat with those three running backs because nobody stop it. Nobody stop it.
Yeah, bro. Maybe. I mean, he tried to get cute in the goal line situation doing wildcat, and
last week we gave up 4
and throwing with Jonnu Smith. So I don't think trick plays is built for this offense. Really, sure, you want to take a shot, every so often.
But
go ahead.
If trick play is not built for this offense, why they still throwing tight end screen passes? Make sense.
Because it's Arthur Smith, and he's not that creative. He just goes back to things that were. That were effective for him in the past, and he's trying to implement that still now, with the skill plays that he has now. The NFL has come full circle, so to say. So the Wildcat offense really isn't a thing of, oh my God, it's a new wave. No, it's old English, man. It's nothing that's
but it was still tough to stop. It was still tough to stop. Even though they knew when it was going, oh boy.
Yeah.
Even though they knew it was coming, it was tough to stop. And when you got speed with Bijan and power with Tyler Algier and Cordero Patterson, it just still make it tough to stop. So, but it's just an idea, man.
Don't know where.
Balance is the key to the game. I think first and foremost, you got to find a balance. How many touches is Bijan going to get? And so Bijan is such a versatile player. We all know that coming in from Texas, he can run and he can catch the ball. But set a number for him as far as how many times you want to see him touch that ball. And either way, is it receiving or is it rushing? Because you got a guy in Tyler Algier that is a tone setter in his own right as well. You get those two guys, started, these 5 and 10 and 15-yard throws start opening up a little bit more. Now, with Taylor in, I think this offense opens up a whole lot more. And I don't know if y'all caught wind to this, but when he got in the game in the second half, we started to see lighter boxes by Tennessee. They didn't commit too much to stopping the run. We saw those backers play a little bit more, back a little bit more, and those throwing lanes were a little bit more, the Falcons had their way. Let's just put it like that. So it's a respect factor because, Taylor has been in the league a little bit longer. He's known he can throw the ball. He can sling that thing.
And that's another thing. Man. He will use that size to get in the end zone. I have yet to see Desmond Ridder even try. He tried it with Drake London, but instead of throwing it behind the shoulder, he tried to throw it, corner out.
Right there in the middle.
Did not work.
Yeah.
So,
man, he threw a dime to Scotty Miller. I'll tell you that. I think that was the most impressive throw of the year, man. Throwing that little dime that he did to Scotty Miller at the corner of the end zone. That enough right there told me, it was like, this is the guy that has to, keep on going. A guy that's not afraid to make calculated throws the way that, Heineke did on Sunday.
Exactly.
We saw, and this is not taking anything away. Yeah, absolutely. And, and Desmond had his fair share of impressive throws. Even the one just last week against Tampa Bay to set up the game-winning kick by Koo. That throw that he threw to Kyle Pitts was in a triangle-style defense that they had out there. You had the corner, the backer, and the safety all in that same area, short window. He delivered it on a dime.
Yep.
We just need to see that a little, more consistent, and that's something we just haven't seen from the fan base. Watching him play and the coaching staff. If they tell you, we see it week in and week out, I don't think so. That's cap because it's not.
Unless they probably see it in practice.
Yeah. But I'd be really interested to see where this offense goes with Taylor. Taking the reins from here on out, man.
Ms. Angela Myers got a question, and it's a great question because I was just about to say something about Van Jefferson. They brought in Van Jefferson to be a vertical guy.
Hmm.
Now he did drop the pass, but to his defense, the pass was behind him. Nobody talks about that. But look, if Taylor Heineke and Van Jefferson get on the same page and he can get down the field behind the defense, ain't nobody gonna stop that. You saw it the very first game he played when he got overthrown in the Washington game. That should have been a touchdown.
Should have been a
Yeah,
touchdown.
he was going in. Yeah.
I think all he needed is a consistent quarterback to get him the football, because we talking about a guy that had 60 catches for over 800 yards, and I think it was 6 touchdowns on the Super Bowl, the year they made it to the Super Bowl. So he has talent. You just have to get him the football.
Indeed.
Man, I got an excellent question, right? But if you want to
Go
chime
ahead,
in on
go
this
ahead.
one there, Chris.
Go ahead.
Oh, just about the Van Jefferson. I mean, everything that Smitty says is absolutely correct. And then having a guy like Taylor to be able to get him the ball, those two getting in rhythm, it definitely opened up the downfields, and it's going to give the defensive coordinator something else to think about, because technically you have a versatile speed guy who can also play the run, and then you also have Scotty Miller, a straight speedster. So you may end up seeing a play where both of those guys are going out, and let's see what the defenses do then, especially if you still have Kyle Pitts back there to worry about, Drake London or Bijan and Tyler. Let's see what the defense do and how they react with that. So Taylor coming in now, I want people to realize that Taylor is not the perfect quarterback, but he's probably just better than Ritter as far as with the experience that he brings. So let's see what he can do and see if he can get that ball to Van and other receivers a little bit better, like how he was against Tennessee.
Agreed, brother. Agreed, man. So a lot's going to be predicated on what the decision is going to be tomorrow. If it's going to be Taylor Heineke,
if it is Taylor or Ritter,
if it's Ritter. But an amazing question from King Richie right here. He asked, "Do you think Smith loses the locker room and fan base if Ritter starts?"
Whoa, boy, that's
I don't think
another question. Hey, bro.
You might have been a fly on the
Richie,
wall around here somewhere, King Richie, man, because we were talking about that the other day, bro.
Yeah, we was.
Hey, he got our phone tapped or something. He got our phone tapped.
Man,
we
what?
Talking about him. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Whew.
but I don't think he loses the locker room, though, y'all. I don't think he loses it, but the locker room, but the fan base, that may be something totally different. And I'm gonna start with the locker room. The locker room, I don't feel like he'll lose that, because I believe the locker room will rally around whoever the starting quarterback is. That's just what a team does. And it's guys that like Ritter, but I mean, let's just be honest. There's probably some guys down the line that we don't know. We're not flies in the locker room, but there probably was wanting Taylor to go ahead and give it a shot, just because we are in a season that we're still number one in the division, still have a chance to go ahead and make the playoffs and make some noise. We have to save that opportunity. So in order to do that, we may have to make the quarterback change. We'll see what happens. What coach says, we'll see. But as far as the fan base, I just think the fan base is actually tired of seeing Ritter. I think the fan base is just wants looking like we want to win, and we're looking at it just like everyone else is. We have an opportunity to make the playoffs. I ain't saying Super Bowl, but we have an opportunity to make the playoffs. We haven't been in 5 years. We're at 500, but we're having a successful season so far. We want to continue to build off of that. So fan base, I can see the fan base being completely done with them.
I'm gonna just say this, and then we're gonna go to the defense because Berto got to go, but we're gonna cut the show a little bit short. I think he could lose the locker room, and last week showed why. When Taylor Heineke came in the second half, the energy on the field was just totally different. Yeah. That tells me that Desmond Ritter has already lost the players around him. And I'm not trying to be mean, but energy is everything. They were running harder routes. They were running the football. It just looked like a totally different team the second half.
Sure.
So sometimes something new is sometimes better than trying to, recycle the same thing over and over, trying to force something. So when you don't force something and you try something new, sometimes it works. But go to the defense right fast before you get out of here.
Yeah, man. Let's highlight the defense right quick, man. So in this game, obviously, we're playing less than 100% Minnesota Vikings offense. With all the players mentioned that are out, I definitely expect the defense to come out and make a statement in this game against Minnesota. I really think that they're going to limit a lot of what Minnesota likes to do. They're I want to say they were a throw first team, and the Falcons have a pretty good secondary. So I think they'll rebound from playing DeAndre Hopkins and the referees from this past weekend. I think it's a bounce back game for the Falcons at home. The defense definitely plays their best when they're at home, and so does the offense. Whether it's Ritter or Taylor Heineke, I expect the Falcons, to really edge this one out on Sunday, man.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think Grady Jarrett loss is going to be big, but I don't think it's going to be to the point where it interferes with the team. Because, like I said, the defense stayed in stride last week, even without Grady Jarrett. He went out in the first quarter. So they played 3 quarters without him last week. You bring in a guy at Kentavious Street that knows the system, and he doesn't have to adjust to anything. I think it's just like a well-oiled machine. It just keeps on running. So all they have to do, like we've been saying for the last 3-4 weeks, just keep getting to the quarterback, and they're going to have another rookie. But I don't think this rookie is going to throw for over 4 touchdowns.
I don't know.
You don't really have number one wide receiver, and that's Jordan Addison. Everybody else is just by committee. So I think with this game, they don't have as many weapons. So I think the Falcons will have an easier time knocking this team out the box the first half.
All right.
Yeah, man. Coaching has this team, and of course, players production, but have this team as a top 10 defense. We're still a top 10 defense, even after giving up 28 points last week. So I believe that we can come in and bounce back at home with that home crowd behind us, and home behind them. And man, go ahead and just step it up. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Berto, you're gonna be sleeping on the sofa.
Man, that low key, that's my brother, man. We host the same damn first name, man. Shout out to you, Alberto. Man.
Yo, I'm talking about.
But right quick, man. Right quick, very quick. X Factor and prediction. Let's go and do this.
Ooh, man. So X Factor for me is gonna be David Onyemata. You are now the man in the middle now. Can you elevate your game? Can you do more than what you're being asked and told to do now that Grady's out? Yes, you get your running mate back in from New Orleans, but what can you do to elevate your play to help everybody else around you now? I would have said Calais Campbell, but that I think asking Calais to do a little too much than what he's doing now at the age that he's at, and that's no slight to that. We're talking football age. I think it's a long shot. So David Onyemata, what can you do for our Atlanta Falcons to, continue, this great defense? It's going to run through him now. I think he's going to be the centerpiece now of the defense. Let's see if you can, stand tall to the task and get us into the playoffs or, into a little hot streak, so to say. But just keep the integrity of the defense intact.
Arthur Smith, I'm gonna challenge him this game. If you go with Taylor Heineke, open up the playbook as much as you can because you have a veteran quarterback. Get those tight ends or receivers and get those running backs acclimated to your system the right way. If he's gonna make those throws, take shots deep, take shots intermediate, hell, even run screen plays, do anything you can to move the ball downfield. Stay consistent. And if he does that, and Taylor Heineke is the starter, I think he wins this locker room back, and hey, he might extend this time because they will start winning games if he becomes consistent at play calling, especially, like I always say, situational play calling.
Facts. I'm going to go with our linebacker core. I'm going to go with our linebackers. Yes, the linebackers, because I believe covering that middle and protecting that middle is going to be very key. I believe that this rookie quarterback is going to try to use his tight end, and he has an all-pro in TJ Hawkinson, and the tight end can be the quarterback's best friend. I want these guys to be able to cover. I want these guys to be able to tackle because that is a big body coming at you, and he has a mean streak to him too. So we have to be able to meet him at the point of attack, not let him get any yards, tackle him, hey, prevent him from even doing anything. It'd be great because he just went off last week against the 49ers too. So you got to keep a hold on TJ Hawkinson. I'm asking our linebacker core to keep eyes on him, to spy on him, and make sure that tear up that middle too much.
That's a good one.
He can definitely find the zones, and he's a good route runner for a tight end. He can block. He's an all-pro. Like I said, keep your eye on that guy. So linebacker core, I'm putting that on you.
Hey, don't forget about Cam Akers too, because he can catch the ball out the backfield too. So yeah, so that's a good one. That's a good one. But quick predictions, everybody. Y'all can throw out y'all predictions. Even after we've ended the live, still throw those predictions in the comment section. We will still say them. But I'm gonna go with the Falcons in this game, man. I'm gonna take it 23-10.
Ooh, man, I said 27-13 Falcons.
And I'm going to roll with 24-16 Falcons.
Man, I love it, man. I love it, man.
But hey, man, we got to end this show tonight a little bit earlier than usual. But as always, man, please follow us on our social media websites: Smitty Sports Machine, A1 Forever, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Because like I always say, man, we work hard. But I'm gonna start back putting the links in the description. And as y'all know, I've gotten in trouble with YouTube, so I'm trying to work that out. But I'm gonna still support my peoples, man. But Berto, man, I know you got to go and take us out of here.
No doubt, man. So everybody, thank you for joining the stream tonight, man. Got this thing up to 101 views, man, live. So we appreciate everybody that chimed in, came in through the chat, gave us a piece of their mind, and with everything going on with the Falcons and around the NFL. Thank you for making the stream as successful as it always is. I'd like to, again, welcome Chris to the 95 North Sports Machine family, man. We look forward to rocking with you for the rest of the year and then some. We're going to continue to support you, man, in anything that you need from us, man. We're a family, man, and we got your back, no doubt. Make a quick announcement this Sunday, right after the game against the Minnesota Vikings. We have Chase and Brother Philip coming on from Dirty Fanatics United. They'll join us on the stream immediately after the Vikings game. So that should be right around 4:15, 4:30, barring a overtime of some sort. That should not happen because we should be winning this game handily. But weirder things have happened in the NFL world.
And we get a victory formation.
Hell yeah, brother. I can't wait for that, man. And this for your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. That's the platform on YouTube. You can find me also on Twitter under RI Falcons and also on the Bleacher Report app, man. I will be exclusively there on Mondays pushing Falcon content. Per usual, got renewed again for November. So really excited to be a part of that Bleacher Report family still. So Smitty, before we head out, socials, Chris, socials.
Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, Spotify, and y'all can find me on Twitter at FatBoySnell_21 because I'm always keeping up stuff over there because I know how to blow up the internet.
Yeah, man. Instagram A1 Forever, Twitter you can find me at A1 Rock. We have TikTok, the real A1 Forever on TikTok, and of course you can always find me on YouTube, covering the coolest and flyest show that you can ever find, A1 Forever Sports.
One thing before I get out of here, find me on Snapchat now. I done upgrade the Snapchat. So
God!
If y'all want to send me a question on Snapchat, please do that.
I'm doing exactly what Chris doing right now, bro. You real for real? You on Snapchat? all love. Now you gotta push it out there, man. It's a grind, man. But to everybody, we'll give you your Tuesday night back. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Happy Halloween to everybody. Hope the little ones got their favorite candies tonight. Until Sunday, we will see y'all then, man. Peace.